when you think of a great weapon, you really have to start thinking from a defensive point of view. It cannot be purely offense because you only have two modes of defense. One is this instrument right here and your body movement. And if you go out and start committing your weapon to attack before you understand or get a feel of the fight, you're going to end up basically being legged and then mercilessly killed after the fact. So a lot of that has to come from, if you start thinking of how Duke Sven fights, he is a counter puncher. He will defend and then fall into your gaps. That is 100% what a great weapon is and what you should use it for. Even if you're fighting against another great weapon fighter, and particularly if you're fighting your great weapon against someone's sword and shield. If you commit this to an attack before you know where they're going to attack, a lot of people will start and they'll think this is the best way to keep somebody away from them. They'll take the point and poke it right at their face. The problem with that is if I thrust and they block, now his sword comes down, and the second my weapon comes here, I'm screwed because he's defeated my point. I can try to bail out and do things like that, but people usually don't do that, especially if you're not very comfortable or versed with great weapon. The second this goes here and you see someone running, everybody immediately does this or some other weird thing and then gets, well, if you're going to metagame the system, you go, ooh, like Ric Flair.
That's one. You go, that's one. You go, sorry.
Yeah, and you go, that's one, and then you drop it 3 times.
Take it forward shoulder.
So the best defensive position for this, and I always go right hand lead. The reason why I go right hand lead is more predominantly a lot of times I was fighting against someone's sword and shield, and if I go left hand lead, it's difficult to take this from here to block that back leg. So that's the reason why I always go right hand here, left hand here. So when they come in, my hand automatically drops, and you can see how I turn it out this direction to protect my arm back here. If I don't, and I come here, then the sword is going to land on my arm. So when you're coming down, it's a slight twist as you're doing it. It's almost like I'm taking and making a circle up top. So I'm here on my opponent, he rushes me, I take a step back and immediately go to here. That right here will give me enough defense and distance that now I can make my decision to either come in and shoulder his shield, either receive the... Could you do me a favor, Your Grace? Could you pick up one of your swords? We're going to do a little side work.
Yeah, grab your shield.
Oh,
don't hit him in the head.
I'm not. Well,
right.
One's crown. All right. If you can just do a slow, we're going to do like slow wraps around there. Yeah, I'm going to come to this side. Yes. So he's coming in. I go to here and I block. Now I can make my decision on whether to come straight down, shoulder in, and then come around, or receive that, come to here, and come straight down. All of that is from a defensive point of view. If I just, could you get in your position? If we were standing here and then I just went, yeah, and I go to there, he's going to block that there, probably clear. He's being nice by hitting me in the head. I figured he would probably clear this and then just all up in here and around in there.
The ass wrap is funnier.
Huh?
The ass wrap is funnier.
Well, I mean, you would probably ass wrap, and as I'm going, ooh, ooh, then come back around and then make me piss blood. So, but I mean, that's my fun game that I like to play when a pole armament charges me. I was like, oh, really? Butt cheeks? And then whatever. But that's playing with your food. But that's what I'm saying is that I can't commit. If I come to here and I point to here, if I throw, there we go, and exactly, and there, toast. Second I come here, he does the same motion. So now I'm prepared, waiting for him to try to clear my weapon. Either way. So how else would you try to clear? And what I do is right there, the second he raised that up to blind himself, and then you can, even if I miss there, go ahead and continue with your swing. So I'm flowing through my opponent from a defensive. So everything is from defense to offense. It's never from offense to defense. The other thing is you take your opponent and you cut them into 4 squares. We know about the quadrants and everything. This and this are low percent. That would be tantamount of you walking up to a roulette wheel and taking $1,000 and putting it on number 2 and then spin it, and you expect 2 to pop up. The percentage on that is so low. If I start off trying to hit his Grace's leg, well, first of all, I'm going to try to figure out what area or what side I'm going to go. But the second I come here and commit, toast again. So anything below the waist without preparation or a feint or anything is too low of a percentage for you to even use as a target. If you are going to want a leg, you're going to have to do something up here to earn that leg. You're not going to stand out. I have fast hands, and there's no way I would stand against his Grace or any competent fighter and try to shoot that. Because the second I miss and we're here, now I have to figure out, you know, I have a buckler I have on this hand that's controllable, but then it becomes asses and elbows because now I have to track his sword and figure out what I'm going to do with this, and then hopefully he hasn't queued up a combination, so now I'm going to really have to figure out where he's going with that, and stuff's happening too quickly.
And so, my favorite target's going to be the elbow, the shoulder blade on that side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm coming here.
Oh, really? Back blade and all. So it's like a lefty. Okay, nice. Well, I mean, with that, it's going to be.
So if I trap their weapon down there, if I trap them down there, there's not much to do about that unless you just get away,
or something like that. I don't know. So if I were wanting his leg, I'm not going to fire to the shield side, especially with his Grace. The reason why I'm not going to fire with that shield side is that still leaves the thing that's going to move at Mach speed open. So I purposefully throw to where he has to commit his sword, because as long as it's in front of me, I know what the hell's happening. And even if I come here, or I sit and do this, I fool him with the illusion that I'm going to continue downward strikes. So it's boom, boom. So all I do at the last moment is, the backhand is the guide. But I have to fool him and commit him up top. If I didn't want to go for the leg, but I wanted to go for a butt spike thrust, same thing. It's boom, boom. And as I thrust, I'm then going to step up that way. If I have a backup weapon, I pull that up that way. So the higher percentage shots all have to be up here. Anything lower at the beginning of a fight or before the midway. So if a fight lasts 2 minutes, if you hit anywhere down here in the first 30 to 40 seconds, you're dead. Because you haven't built up enough threat everywhere else that he has to worry about anything. I have to make him fear for his life up here with my power and speed shots to earn, if you think of it like a video game, you do something enough, you keep getting bonus points. So that's what I'm earning as I'm up here, bonus points. Because now when I get ready to strike and before I redirect, he has to honor my direction. He has to honor my power. And that's when I've earned the right to deviate from the plan and the pattern. All right? So that is, this is about weapon position and percentages on what you should try. Everything is a gamble. I kind of think of fighting that way. I think of it as crap rolls sometimes. I'll be here and I'll go, oh man, I want to see if I can get his arm. Man, if I do that, he's like this, I have to worry about that. I have to, worry about him half-stepping this direction, maybe cross over with his shield and then wrap me that way. So I play all that, and unfortunately, all that does play in my head as I'm standing out there doing stuff. And I like to see, well, let's see if I can get a shot at that arm before he does a shot at me. That's the game I like to play with myself. Oh, okay, sweet. Now I can't throw that again, especially against someone like him. I've now given him a move like on a chessboard. If we're sitting there and nobody has moved and all of our pieces are in the right spots, we look at each other. I happen to be making the first move in that. His whole existence is trying to figure out or speculate or make some form of judgment call on what attack plan I'm coming. And if you're a chess player, there's several different methods of attack. And what he's waiting is to see which one I'm going to develop, whether I move my pawn over here or pawn here or down the middle. Each one has its own attack strategy. So if we're in that precognitive state at the beginning of the fight. I'm sorry, you can sit for just a little bit. I'm going to run my mouth for a while. At the beginning of a fight, you're in the precognitive state. You're going, okay, this is what I'm going to do. What is he going to do? All right. As yesterday I was talking about how you can't control what the other person does. You have to stay within your own game. The only way you're going to have any type of idea of what he does is if you have watched him fight before, whether it's with a great weapon or watched him fight sword and shield against a great weapon. You have to have some idea to know what the spread is going to be on your. You just don't walk up and, oh, $1,000 on the bulls. Whoa, dude. It's 5-4 on that, dude. You'd be a better bet to come over here and bet on this. But you don't know that. You're just going blind. If you're a gambler, you have done your homework and you know what is the right bet, the right amount of money. If you're a professional gambler, we're professional fighters. So to be a professional fighter and not know what his tendencies are going to be, what the hell you been doing? You ain't been fighting, because that's part of the fight. As you can figure out tendencies, the objective is to have less tendencies so that people just are baffled and already don't know what you're going to do. That gives you the best percentage of a win shot if you don't continually throw the same things. Now, I'm mentioning all of that is because people get these and then immediately it's almost like they forget that there's angles to this. It's and they just actually striking is not really what happens. Everybody just starts doing this, even when they have a pole arm. And I was like, there's other things on that puppy that you can use other than the spear, but everybody likes that thrusting tip because now they have a weapon that's 6 feet or 7.5 feet away, and now I can poke you and I can poke you. Well, on a mid-range fighter or somebody you know you can beat single sword, yeah, you're going to get that in. But what you want to do is be progressive and threatening to all opponents. It doesn't matter if you're a squire and you're getting ready to fight a knight. If you know and you've done your work with this, you should be able to contend, maybe not beat them as you would like to beat them, but you should be enough threat with this than just pokey and straight down strikes. Your strikes have to come in at a strategic point. You have to know, if I'm striking over here, it's because I want to foul up or keep his weapon in vision. If I'm continually throwing on this side or throwing over here, you're not controlling the fight. You're allowing your opponent, this is all particularly sword and shields, and then I'm going to move to great weapon. If I stand here and I throw over here all the time, or if I'm trying to get his leg, I'm not controlling the fight. I am just postponing the fight. Because his killing instrument is free to do whatever he wants. With impunity, he can swing any angle he wants because I have constantly kept everything here. Now my weapon is, perpendicular to my body. So now, literally, most of my blocks are all happening on this because I can't go from here to block like he's throwing a back blade over here. Well, I'm thrusting and doing that. Now I'm all weirded out, and once I get here and he pushes with his shield, now it's gut fest over here. So you have to learn that when you throw your shot for it to end in a defensive position that sets you up for your other offense. So that is part of what you need to think about as you are using a great weapon against a sword and shield. I'm throwing this shot. At the end of this shot, I'm going to be defended. You know, if I'm going to throw, boom, I am poised to block here or poised to turn and block there. I don't throw here. I can invert, maybe, but now his shield's pressing me and we all get, weird again. So when I'm throwing, it's always boom to a defense, boom to a defense. So I hit and I float back to this defense. That kind of is effective if I had a big barn door shield on this side. That's what I want, because it's going to be easier for me to track this way, because he's going to have to drop his shield or open his shield, and at that point in time, it's a step in, and then my weapon comes in front, and now everything on this side of my body is protected. Could you work with me again on the shield? If you could throw a shot, a slow shot, to my lower leg, and then come back to hit me there. So I come here, here. Now, where would you go from here? What would be your next?
Most likely it's going to be a wrap from there.
A wrap to my head? Or well, just wrap? And now I step in behind that. So once I get into here, now I could either go here, or I could go from, can you go back out to the wrap? I can go to here to there. I could go to here to drop out. If I had my great weapon, I wouldn't have to step out. I was trying to simulate I had nothing there. If it's all striking edge, the second I come here, I'm going straight down into his shoulder. But every time, if I strike and I miss, I'm still here. If somehow, some miracle, he gets his shield over to protect his shoulder, now he's going to, from there, just throw in it, whatever you would throw. Ah, see? And I didn't reach down low enough. But when I lost sight of the sword, I immediately knew it was going low. That's why I tried to drop it, but he J-hooked me and got underneath. But that, when you can't see it, when you lose track of the sword, it's coming low. Because he has his shield in position, he thinks he has me out of position. So now I have to go, oh, and maybe get lucky. Now I have the little shield on there, which picks that up, because I got tired of that getting hit a lot. Because they would hit me literally that inch above my knee, and they would piss me off. I was like, man, just an inch, I'm screwed. So I just started using that, so now I can just set my hand here and it protects low. But every time I strike, even when he's going to rush me, I strike to keep it in front of me. And when I'm going to close, I immediately close to here. Try to control here. Boom. And all that is this hand. I don't even need that. I'm just going to put my weapon as if I have it here, and all I'm doing is so boom, block, push, and straight back down. All right, that's a good thing. So, any questions from now? None? None? Okie dokie. That's either good or bad, I don't know. Huh? Hey, that's true. All right. That is against sword and shield. Great weapon against great weapon, totally different game. I mean, it's now you're no longer a defensive person working through offense. You can be more of an offensive person because you both have small, and from there, It depends on what my opponent does with his pole arm. If they come up top and get into what I call a striking position, which is not the point pointing at the face, then I will match them in striking position. But I don't mind the thrust. I really don't have fun thrusting with a great weapon. I want to hack you to pieces with it. Thrusting is all good to kind of keep distance, but I really like to do that. But everyone that doesn't fight with a great weapon on a consistent basis, the only thing they revert back to is thrusting, because they thrust with their single sword, and then they probably fight in wars with a spear. So they revert immediately to the thrusting, which puts you at a disadvantage if you have a pole arm. If you have a spear, then you're using the instrument as it should. But if you have a pole arm and you're doing nothing but thrusting, you're not even probably using a third of its potential, because you have the striking edge, both striking edge, and you have the butt spike. The butt spike is never really going to come into effect because you're putting all your eggs in one basket, that you're going to thrust them, and it's not going to get knocked way off to the side or down in the dirt, or the shield immediately gets on it, and now your weapon's up here and his shield's right here, and then everybody's kind of giggling at you on the sidelines because you're getting ready to do the oh shit dance, because he's going to blow you up somewhere, and you're going to be like, oh! Especially for somebody like me, I didn't really wear armor, so I really hated those moments.
Do you change hands during a fight?
I do not change hands during a fight. The reason why, if I'm fighting a sword and shield, I always fight, now I'm going to say right hand, left hand. Right hand, I always fight with this because I need this here to clear. If I'm fighting somebody that is fighting me pole arm and they're fighting left hand lead, I still fight here. And the reason why is because when they switch to this lead, and let's just say it's a pole arm, their strikes are going to try to want to come in to my hip area right there. So if I keep this here, and the second they start to strike, all I have to do is lower my hand here, and none of their strikes are going to be able to reach me on that side. And then that leaves me cross-striking, and that's why I don't mind it, because the second their pole arm comes to this side, literally they're going to be this way, and their pole arm's going to be there, and all of this is going to be open. So I block here. I take that energy and kinetic force and allow it to push my weapon that way. So as they strike, I block, and then I strike on this side, usually hitting them here or right in there. Yes?
What about the lefties? Do you switch hands for lefties?
Lefties, I do not. I'm going to get to that as well. The other reason for that is the lefties' bread and butter shots are the things that happen up here, and they usually use these two quadrants. I'm going to say this, His Highness is back there. He will probably refute that, but there's a lot of lefties, and their bread and butter shot is this shot here, and if they can't get that, then they come here. So these two are this is probably going to 80 percentile range that they're going to open with something up there. And that is just the lefties thing. And then this is going to run in their gambit of things about a 60 percentile thing. So the reason why I stick here is to block up there, and then I turn like that for when they try to come back to the other quadrant.
So you don't switch hands, but you switch legs.
I switch legs. Yeah. Could somebody pick up His Highness's shield and just come up here and mock left-handed for me? Oh. I mean, did I say Highness? Yeah. I'm His Majesty. I'm very sorry. I went back in time. Yeah, now he's going to come out here. I'm just so I get in this position. I still do the exact same things. I still continue to fire here and keep his weapon in position. But now what I want to do is, as I'm firing here, which is my flash, I have no illusions that I'm going to be able to hit His Majesty with that shot. It's not meant to hit him. It's meant to get this to be right about there and that there, so this foot can take a step over there. So then I come to him and I go, try to get through that direction. I'm going to do flash to blind him so I can take that free step and turn. Even if I don't take a step all the way that direction, right? So I'm going to hit and come to here. Now from here, I can J-hook in, or from here, fire there. And if I fire here, he's a coming a running. So that is a low percentile, which is once again below his waist, the low percentile. Now I'll do the same thing, but I'm going to go up top. So I throw here, I step here, and then I throw, I throw here. If he does not block, say you roll over with your shield, and you keep that, you roll this direction. And now when he comes, so I block and either wrap, or I'm in that position, I'm here, and all I'm doing is rolling back this direction now. And then I could either take a step in as he's pulling his sword back, go ahead, throw, and then recover. Yeah, now he's either going to push out and grab space and then do this. Right. But if I'm here and this, then you know, let's just be honest, the only thing that's visible on him at that time is this. So that movement that I did was to make him fire where I wanted him to fire to. So I'm prepared for that. Now he can go really fast and then throw off my timing, but that is the objective. That's my game plan when I'm going to come in there. Once we get in there and that doesn't work, then it's asses and elbows, and you figure out what's going to happen and try to grab some space and a breath to think again. But, so once again, throw that over. Boom. I close here. Push off to grab space to come back and hit me on this side here. Now, do I have him at a disadvantage, or does he have me? Because now I've laid my polearm on him. The second he starts to struggle for that, and I'm backing out. So that is the time that I go for the lower percentage shot, because I'm backing out to leg him, and now he's going to sit down, because that's the whole objective. Was I was trying to, I don't feel that I could hit His Majesty up there, so I have to start playing the chess match to get him to forget a spot. So once we get in that close, he immediately is going to forget that, because all my stuff is up here. And so now when I disengage, I drop out and go all the way out, and now he's going to be like, oh, where's he? Oh, son of a bitch. And then now I can sit back and do this, really. And now it's going to be harder because I don't stay out at range at anybody. I figure that's unchivalrous. So now it's going to suck. I got to close in and figure out what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter that His Majesty, I'm not even talking about that. Any combatant, squire, whatever, I don't stay out at 6 feet and kick them. That's no fun. Because really in that scenario, I'm going to win. It's just how long are we going to take? You know? So, any other questions?
I was just going to ask, what are you going to do after you leg it?
Yeah, it sucks. That's why I was like, screw legging. Because now I have to close in and pull my backup weapon. And then things get a little hairy at that point. I at least want to keep this distance with him while we're on our feet. So that's kind of the reason why I don't really leg people, because I know I'm going to close in after, and so I might as well do my business up top. There, thank you very much, Your Majesty. Now, with if I'm fighting another polearmsman, we're going to do blade on. I come to this. Notice that I'm not here. It's not here. It's here. This could be a strike. This could be a pullback to a thrust. That's the reason why I don't go here. Because if I start here, I have to raise up for a strike, and that gives them way too much time. So what I want to do is the more energy, the more visible strike is the straight down strike. This deals with depth perception, so this is going to be a lot faster. I don't have to figure out a way to deceive you with this. but I do with the strike. So I have to strike, 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 thrust. With another pole armsman, if they come to the point position, you have that just rolling, don't you?
Yeah.
Could you grab one of your... how many of you, outside of Gunther, are spear people in war? All right. Were you taught the blocks by using your wrist? No? No? You know what I'm talking about. Oh, you learned it from me. Okay. All right, so get into a thrusting position. If we're here and you start to thrust, just go ahead and thrust me. That's going to come in to the center point of my body. Now I can do this, go ahead and thrust again. I can go way exaggerated, but then it pulls my point offline. Or I could go, and all I did was twist my hands, because that little bit changes about 1.5 foot difference. Let's go to the other way. We're here. This one, usually if you, one second, on this, when my sword is on my opponent's left-hand side, yeah, when you thrust, most of those thrusts are going to come into the body. Really not the face, because you're going to be pushing, so it's going to grab more on this side. If my pole arm in a thrust profile is on my opponent's right-hand side, the shots that mainly are going to happen are going to be to my face, and you would think my gut, but not. It's going to really land here, because when he starts thrusting, I'm going to maybe fade back, and then that's when it drops down into my hip. If I stay present, they're going to thrust, and it's going to immediately go for my face. So, as I turned this way, using my left hand as the meter of turn, I do the exact thing on the opposite direction. So let's just kind of pick it up to 25%, and you just thrust. See how just with my wrist, I'm able to control the point. And so now I don't have to worry about the point. After you do that for a bit, they will go, screw this noise, and then that's when they'll pick it up, and we'll start real polearm fighting and great weapon fighting with the blade, instead of cheese dicky, thrusty stuff. I'm making it sound like it's horrible, but I can give this to my 7-year-old great nephew, and he could thrust one of you guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not saying he's better. I'm just saying thrusting is really one-dimensional, and it really requires no skill. It requires skill to redirect your opponent's weapon and get your spear point back in the right position, but just sitting there and, you know, singer-sewing it, you know, is really, it's going to be boring and uninteresting. So, with this, stay on this side this time. So now, I'm going to redirect his thrust, but I want to go to a strike. So I redirect, and then immediately all I do is raise my arm and my hand as I strike to this side of his body. So you thrust, thrust. Now I really want to get you down, and then I can do a two-hand in, or, and then catch him right in the waist. I do really, when I do thrust, I thrust as I thrust with a war spear, so I really get into it. Spear dueling is a great, it's great fun to me, because it really has you moving around, redirecting. There's a lot of times that I will sit and just do this instead of crossing with them. I've done that. But you see how everything, literally almost katana style. I'm keeping as much a low profile as this can get. That way it still kind of leaves a little too much in these areas. But I try to keep my profile to him, because if I miss, first again, let's go as you're going for my face. All right? So that's just footwork to get out of the thrust. Oh, yeah, yeah, I know, but I was still great. I had to roll that way. So I'm just turning profile, go for more of my body. Keep going. So that is what you need to work on. You should get a buddy. If you want to work on that, both of you get 6-foot spears, great weapons, and just sit there and play duel back and forth until you can start feeling how just this little bit of movement is going to give you 2 to 3 feet up here. This works in war as well, spear dueling. Any questions from that? All right. So that's just the basics. We haven't even got to the different strikes or anything like that. Do I go over butt spike? Nah, I'll forget that. We're going to go to strikes now. All of you have seen or watched at least the video that me and Kiartan have. So, I mean, do I need to go over any of that? Really? I'm asking. Nope. No. Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Gunther, could you grab your shield back there?
Okay, live again.
Alright. The wrap. I guess that is the thing that probably most people would like to throw with a great weapon. Alright. When I throw the wrap, and those of you see, those of you have not, all of my strikes are pretty much Bushido-esque, meaning that in my torso there's a V, like in your V-neck sweater. When I throw shots, I make sure I throw in that trajectory on both sides, because it's the hardest thing to duck away from. And it's because it's always going across your medial axis. So everything is coming this way. I'm not going for the head where you can duck, or particularly I invert it when I'm going for body. So as there's a V coming down this direction, there's a V coming up in this direction as well. So I don't try to hit the leg just by going sideways. I try to hit the leg by coming down, because even, just take your sword. I want you to strike at my leg coming perpendicular. Now I want you to strike at my leg coming at this angle down, like you're going to cross my hip, but you're coming down. How I move right back into that attack position, because he's coming down in the inverted V. So that when I take my step back, if I'm here, do the same thing. Now I take my step back, it's going to come across. If it doesn't hit me in the gooch, it's going to cross over and hit me in the other leg. What? Oh, okay, I missed something. Oh, I said gooch. Okay, sorry. But you see how that is how you're going to strike at a polearmsman, and not just try to get their leg. You're going to continue to come down in that, and that's what's going to give you a success rate on that. So I do the exact same thing with my great weapon. You're going to get in that position. As I stated, I'm here. Percentage chances that he's going to fire at this leg, very low. So this becomes your moving leg, your pivot leg, the basis of where all of your polearm is going to take place. Because for him to throw, get in your position, and now throw to this leg, it's going to have to come that direction. Try to do something around here. I'm going to see that coming all day long. Now throw that, but come down in the V inverted. And how I step back into it, and it's not down low, because when you go just slow, go for my leg, I can step out of that. Throw the same thing, inverted down, it immediately falls right into my hip as I'm taking the step back. If I didn't step, it would hit me probably there. Boom. So that is the angles that you should be throwing when you're going to. Before we move on, do not, if you have sword and shield, do not run at your opponent, because I know where I'm going to go. You don't. He weighs, what, 240 maybe? Yeah, okay. If I can get him 3 steps in, and I know I'm going to make a juke cut this way, he doesn't. No matter how hard he tries, there's going to be a 1.5 to 2 steps beyond me, because he's going to have to alter. Or if he's really fast and quick of foot, he might be able to half step around and not continue to go that way, but it still leaves me behind them. If you're going to come after a polearms person, it should feel like you are going on a nice nature walk up at Griffith Park. You should just be this. Because as long as I'm walking slow, I can keep my shield out in front of me, I can keep my sword out in front of me. Can I see both of those? And when I say that, it is not, I come out and I do this. I come out because 9 times out of 10, can you pick this up, Gunther? And just point it at my face, right over there. 9 times out of 10, everybody's going to be at you with point. So I don't come like that, I come like this. Just start your thrusting. And then I just walk in like that. Boom, 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 boom. Because then I'm controlled. At any point in time, with one foot up, I can go this direction, I can turn this direction, I literally can then stop my action and back up. And the second I start going, now I have to, before I can even make a change, if he made his juke and my foot is right here, I have to continue this step. And then I may be able to stop myself on this step. That's 2 steps. At that point in time, he made that juke, say this is in front of me, and I'm running at him. The second he juked, now it's over here, so I'm going to turn here to give him the view for that, and then I step here. Now I'm going to have to try to get back around, but if he's going to do the great weapon wrap, it's going to hit me in the back of the head or hit me in the back. So, the most important thing is, when you're fighting a great weapon person, walk in casual and calm, staying alert and ready for point work to do some business. And if you stay there with calmness, then you won't have to worry about getting out juked and then your kidneys blow up. All right, so I want to do the wrap. I want to get back to, just go back to single sword or sword and shield fighting just for a moment. The fighting has progressed to a kind of weird state now. And I don't know if it's because we're all up here and everybody is a little faster and they're able to generate the power. But the days of combinations seem to be fading out. Everybody thinks every time I throw my sword, I should kill someone. Your sword is a killing instrument, it's also a distracting instrument, and it's also a tactical instrument. You got to start throwing shots that are meant to get people's defensive or offensive utilities in a specific area for you to then start working on another area. If I, when I'm fighting Gunther, very rarely, but when I'm fighting Gunther, I throw little teaser shots just to see what his weapons are going to do. If I want to throw at his leg, I want to see how he's going to protect his leg. So I'll stand there and I'll go, just to see how does he roll that down. Oh, interesting. Okay. So now he does, all he stands there and does is just roll that down. Well, that lets me know that I have to travel 3 to 4 feet to get to his leg. All he has to do is drop that about 2.5 inches. So I have to buy myself time. So I throw a shot as deep over here as possible, If he shield blocks, it's great. If he sword blocks, even better. Because then he has to pull that. You're going to allow me just to hit you? Here we go. So I come, there we go. So the second he gets right there, because now I've committed all of this here, all I have to do, and actually it'd be with this foot, is to take a step and then drop the tip down right there. So I just threw a shot for a specific reason, is to take his leg. If I want to take his arm, I throw 2 or 3 shots over here to get him committed there, and then come back around in and take the arm. Same thing with this. You have to distract first and then attack. I have to get him to commit his defensive utensil and his offensive utensil. If I can't get his offense, I'm okay. But my whole objective is I want this somewhere in his medium middle range. So, as I'm standing there, I will toss those to here. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going slow, and he's not playing the game. He's wanting to defend. I could hit his helm on, and we can go for real, but, all right, so if I come here, back around there. So can you not anticipate my shot? Because you know it's coming and you keep rolling to it. I wanted to show him.
Instinct.
It's the slow work instinct. I've got to win. It's slow work. I can't get touched ever.
I don't want to.
So when I come to this side and I get ready to come down again, the trajectory is still the same. All right, I'll light your kidney up. I don't give a rat's ass. So I'll come here, and if he's going to do that, then I'll come around and do that. I'm trying to, let me show them how to do the headshot, please. Okay. So I throw it here. The second I get to here, I'm still coming down, and it looks like I'm coming in that direction. Just leave them right there, because that's where they're going to be after I hit them. And then when I come again, you're going to be ready for it, and you're going to be pushing up, and that's when I come around and go there. Because as you're going, when it's slow, it's difficult. But I am power shooting into it. So he's not going to just be, literally when I hit, I want his shield and his sword to go. Because that is what commits the threat. So the second I do 2 of those really hard, he is going to know, holy crap, I've got to really commit my block because he's hitting hard. And that's what you can't get a simulation on in slow work. But I'm not just going, tick, tick, tick. I'm going on purpose. Because I want him to fear that. Jesus Christ, if I don't block that, that's going to fucking hurt. Because that is the only thing that's going to sell, be able to do the J hook around. So now I'm going to power down and push you to about there. Then I'm going to come to here. All I'm going to do is take my bottom part of my hand and do that. So I go So, any questions on that? That is how you throw the wrap to the back of the head. Okay, sword down so they can literally see. No. Yeah, put your shield just right about here. Now, if I miss with the head, especially if I'm with right foot forward, I will be throwing here. I'll go. Look at my feet. That's all I'm doing is to get around. Because once I throw to that side, his shield's going to be right there. He's not going to see this cross. Because he's too busy going. And when he raises up, when I take that other step, it's here. So if this is me, it's here. Then when I raise up, I've already taken that step. So now, effectively, I go and he's right there. When I raise up, now he's right over there and it looks like he teleported. But because your mind takes a picture and only remembers the last thing it took a picture of. Shutter opens. Now he's 45 degrees off to your to your shield side. All right. So again, this time I worked on the defense around here. Oh, first of all, is there any other questions? None? Everybody just wants to get to application? I'm just asking.
So you can do, is the kidney the exact same thing as the head? Or
It's the exact same motion. It's just where you're going to vary.
They just changed its angle by crossing it.
That's good. So, I'm here, I'm doing this, so it's, let me get something better. So, it is boom, boom, and I keep fading back as I do it.
Especially, like he said, he takes, you do those shots to see the movement, and if you get a guy that's overcommitting the block all the time,
there we go.
Shield, then you're gonna throw that right at his head, not even attending to hardly touching, because he throws that shield up. Like he says, he takes a picture of you standing there, and you go, whoop, your back foot's already moving.
Yeah.
Clip, he goes blind, you take a stop, he drops his shield to see you,
Boom.
too late, you hit him.
Well, the other time he does the demonstration in the other video, it's when the opponent's closing. So as they're concentrating on, when they're concentrating on moving forward, they're even going to overblock more, and it can really open
This
it.
is a static. So it's boom, boom. You just keep throwing there, or I can vary down low. But as long as I'm fading that direction and making my opponent chase me with his tacking tool, then I am pretty much safe. That is my movement giving me my defensive. And it's not even quick movement. There's two types of great weapon fighters. There's those that are in shape and run away a lot, like Duke, what's his name, Martin?
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Mark. He runs 7 miles 3 or 4 times a week. So when he fights great weapon, it's bicycle on, I'm going to run backwards. I used to do that, but now I'm taking a page out of Master Pavel's book. It's called the Fat Bastard Technique. And that is, my whole objective is I want to live right here. Can you get up in your defensive? I want to live right here. Because with this, his shield now becomes a part of the Fat Bastard shield, and he only has here and here to contend with. And as long as I'm here with my great weapon, I'm good to go. How you doing? He's going to be trying to get space. And I'm going to be pushing. And I'm going to be like, oh, no, Fat Bastard. This little Debbie gut has got some action in it. So I did. Well, no, that is the part of the Fat Bastard technique, is I got to lay my gut on his shield so he can't move it, and my whole objective is sticky touch gut. So, I know that sounds weird, but that is the Fat Bastard technique. So,
how do you strike from there?
You can do.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't have an offside
don't
head.
have an offside head.
Okay.
All he has
Is that or that. I have to gain ground to throw anything else.
Go ahead, throw that. Bang! So it gives me those angles.
And you can armpit hook them too when you're that close.
Well,
And you're-
I'm not going to get
that's
to
a little more
This
advanced.
is the other part of the Fat Dirty Bastard. How you doing? Backup weapon, gig in the face. So I do that a lot. So when I get in close, he can't see me. If I can commit and get into here and get him to throw, the second I release there, he doesn't know I'm going for my backup weapon. What are you doing? What's that? Or in the face.
Or under the armpit.
Oh, really? I got in trouble last time I did that.
Well,
or is that allowed here now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you throw around there,
Anywhere over
boom, and then I go.
Here.
That's legal?
That's pretty questionable.
It's questionable.
All I know is that they called a hold on me at Angels Melee. I'm just saying. But that was back in the day, but I didn't know what changed or not. Because I did do that, and it was great fun to throw that guy over the hay bale.
Yeah, manipulating their body with the haft of your weapon.
With the haft.
That's you can manipulate their weapon, you can manipulate their shield, manipulating their body. That's what we're getting to. Directed contact, not striking, and figuring out where that line is.
Yeah.
This is walking the tightrope.
It looks like you're striking him and pitching.
When I block here,
but if you're just turning him,
and then I come to this, this is questionable, but it's still just my arm versus his arm. So I'm really not grappling as much, but it's walking that tightrope.
It's like my shield hook of the basket hilt, right on that line, because I'm grabbing that basket hilt with my hand and trying to put my shield off of his arm as I throw his basket hilt across his chest.
Well, wouldn't that be the same as me hooking his shoulder and spinning around?
No, hooking his basket was very different than hooking his shoulder.
yeah.
Hooking his basket was clearly his shoulder.
It's not directed impact, right?
Yeah, because if you hook his shoulder, are you striking him?
Well, with that, this is my take on it, but let's just talk about that. As long as I have contact less than 2 or 3 seconds, to me, that's not considered striking. If I just go like that,
That doesn't really, because that's a strike. If I make contact,
You're gonna get asked. This is the biggest thing you're facing at ACL.
yeah,
A lot of the star coffers because of Conrad.
Yeah.
So you leg your opponent, you walk in, shoulder hook,
yeah.
back. Did he strike him or?
Oh, okay.
like if I,
Yeah,
if
it's
I
our-
come in,
Wasn't this our last
if I
class?
get in here,
Well, we got to that point with great weapon, and then we might as well talk about it.
And that's what happens.
now I'm in
Because I use
contact.
that.
Now I push, I didn't
Yeah.
really strike him. If I'm not in contact and I do this, now I'm striking him down to the drive. And what I actually
That's
do
what I'm
normally,
talking about doing.
I grab this.
Okay.
And I grab
He
this
grabs
and I
your
throw.
basket.
Okay.
But if he goes and puts that up
Just for
into my armpit first and then
Okay, now you're in contact. Now you're pushing him, not striking him.
So this is okay.
It's a gray area.
It's a gray area.
Yeah.
Because I could, if he finally charged me and I lost the battle of range, and you finally got in there, because I could easily just come out and go like this immediately,
Right.
and
when
then
you-
spin it.
And if you roll out,
Yeah. So
So you make contact, and then you
or at Angels when you did that,
Yeah.
when you did that, and the gentleman was here, and his feet left the ground and cleared the hay bale,
yeah.
they're gonna misconceive that.
Oh, okay.
Also,
No lawn darting people.
also in the charge, if you take that position and then he puts his arm into contact with you, then that's on him.
Try to cover that, because if you're going to start fighting, you're going to find yourself doing that at some point in time, accidentally or whatever. So you got to know and be prepared for that. All right. I guess we're done. Everybody get their great weapon, and let's come up and everybody get on the pedals
do the similar. I
and
get
start
here,
working on
bring the
the
shield over to
wrap
block,
shot with that.
No tiger by the tail this time either?
Well, we're going to do Tiger by the. I'm just going to do an application where it's enough of me talking. Now you strike, and then I'll talk some more.